right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is day 56, Seattle Pandemic Shutdown. Yesterday, oh God, was it really yesterday? Yesterday we had an update from Governor Inslee. Non-emergency surgeries are back on. So you can go get your root canal? I would like to go to the speed limit. Thank you. So that's back on. Again, phases, right? Phase 1, phase 2, etc. Now again, the doomer hoaxer dichotomy. Most people are not one or the other, although people will call you one if you downplay the threat in any way, right? So I thought about turning this on its head. I find this fascinating once I thought of it this way. Everyone has been staying home. They're addicted to video games. By the way, our real world economy might be shut down, but the Animal Crossing economy is a booming. Let me tell you. Everyone's playing video games and watching movies, and we're the society that created the zombie apocalypse horror genre, right? And there's books and comics and movies and games and board games and all kinds of stuff about zombie apocalypse. Now, everyone thinks they can survive the zombie apocalypse. Well, some people probably know that they're screwed, but everyone has an idea in their head of how they would go about it, right? And how could you do that? It's not a magic field that just turns people into zombies. No, there are rules, right? And in fact, there's often transmission of a pathogen from one person to another via bites and scratches and such, right? So people can imagine these fanciful scenarios where they... Am I crooked? Are we good? These fanciful scenarios where they, fend off the zombies with a katana they find or a gun they find that they don't necessarily know actually how to use, but they figure it out on the fly, because most people aren't really that prepared to engage in continuous murder of their undead neighbors. But anyways, there are rules. You follow the rules, you win the game. Like I said this before, the new game is basically everything is lava unless you've just washed your hands. So you don't touch your face, you don't touch other people, you sanitize surfaces other people have probably touched, don't stick your fingers in your mouth, don't lick any doorknobs. Follow the rules and win the game. And we have to figure this game out. Like, civilization itself might depend on us figuring out how to play this game effectively. Now, if the score goes up, you're doing something wrong. And by score, I mean the death toll, or the infected toll, right? The infected count. We're doing something wrong. We're not playing the game right. But you can't tell me we can't outsmart a little microbe that may not even technically be alive, right? You're telling me we can't handle that? It has known behaviors. It has known weaknesses. It's not magic. It's not a magic curse. It's a little thing in the air, and people cough it out, and I guess sweat it out and breathe it out. So why can't we figure this out, right? Again, testing, getting tested, screened, sure. And what about people who get sick if we lift quarantine? There will be people who will get sick. That doesn't mean that we can, again, just shut everything down because it might spread a little bit. Again, this whole quarantine was just about keeping the medical apparatus from being overwhelmed by sick people, and then people making hard decisions about letting people die, and then you got people dying in hallways, which is like some of the videos we saw from different parts of the world looked pretty bad. People just dying without ventilators, but people are dying at home now in New York City, allegedly. And because other types of medical treatments aren't being allowed, people are dying of other things. So there's constant trade-offs here. I'm talking about, again, food insecurity. What is it actually going to look like if we have real food insecurity in America? Right? That will have an impact on people, a negative impact on, life outcomes, let's say. And it's the same thing with economics. There have already been suicides behind this thing. So we have to start making hard decisions. But again, I'm not calling it a game to downplay it. I'm saying we've figured out how to make all kinds of video games and stuff with all kinds of rules and rules that change and new, basically power-ups you pick up along the way. Well, you can get a power-up, a mask. A mask is like a power-up in Zelda. Now you have the mask. Now you can go, do stuff. Safer. Not safe, not 100% safe, but safer. And it's like all these little hedges is all these little things are things that we're going to have to solve. We're going to have to solve contact transmission. We're going to have to solve transmission through the air. We're going to have to solve, getting people comfortable enough to go back to businesses. Like, go see a movie. Are you ready to go sit in a packed movie theater for 2 hours or 3 hours nowadays and be around a bunch of strangers breathing in their air that they've been breathing out? Would you feel comfortable doing that? You were comfortable doing it before. How would you know that you would feel safe to go back to a packed dining room in a restaurant? Is it safe? How can we know? How can we know? I don't know. That's the uncertainty. So people aren't are people staying home because they're being told to, or are they staying home because they're frightened? Obviously, it's some combination of both. And I think most reasonable people think kind of along the lines that I'm thinking. Like, there's a balance. Keeping people safe, getting everyone back to work. We have the tools necessary to empower people to safely go back to work. We have the tools, we have the knowledge that we need, right? Do we fully understand the behavior of the bug? That's a good question. I would say if we've gotten transmission to slow down, then yes. If our total number of cases goes up by a certain relatively small amount every day, like it has in Washington, it's gone up by a couple hundred about on average every day, and then we've had about an average of 15 deaths every day. Well, I'm not seeing a surge, I'm not seeing a spike, I'm seeing a predictable average amount increase. Now, if we stop social distancing, will that go up? How much will it go up? And are we comfortable with that? And again, comfort level. Are you comfortable knowing that you're going to be putting other people at risk, balanced against knowing that we are putting literally the entire world at risk of things like food insecurity, which will potentially kill God knows how many people, right? So again, if it's a zombie movie and the Covid19 is the pathogen that causes zombieism, well, let's learn the rules and follow the rules and form cool zombie apocalypse teams with different people with different specialties, right? I mean, like, I have a katana, I can be helpful. And again, I know how to give a haircut, form your squad and start playing the game. The game is get America back to work and save the world. I'm only kind of kidding. I mean, I'm not really kidding at all. I mean that. We can solve this problem. We can defeat this bug. All right. That's about it for today. Remember, I go out so you don't have to.